today was a very interesting day. Today was by far the most depressed I've been in a while, and not like the sad depression, you know. It's the type of depression that comes with the increased heartbeat and the stomach doesn't feel quite right, and you have a little bit of a headache. Breathing's a little bit too fast. When nothing seems to be like okay, like normal. And driving up to Stellenbosch, I was lifting my ex. I should call her a friend now, I mean, because we are friends. And, we had the standard conversation. How's uni going? Because we go to the same university and do the same course, but I don't know, we don't really see each other on campus. And she said, I'm pretty much, in the same boat as you. Because we've had this conversation. I've told her, like, I'm not doing too well. And at that moment, something just clicked. That, like, I realized no one is doing everything they can to succeed. I thought subconsciously, of course, I'd never admit this consciously, but there was no point in trying. I was so far behind that there was just no point. The best I could do is pass. But when she told me I'm in the same boat as you and she's fucking smart, what does that mean for everyone else? They're probably putting in minimal effort, most of them, to get the marks they're getting. And some of them are getting good marks. But that doesn't matter because I felt like I was so behind in effort that I wasn't locked in. And I wasn't. But so many other people are not locked in. And fortunately for them, they can pass being not locked in. But for me, clearly that's not the case. And that made me think of, everyone else that I know. Like I have a close friend now that isn't going to university. And we share the same friend group, but I'm a lot closer to them than he is to them. And one of his close friends is in Sweden, the other one is in France. I'm his only other, well, apart from one other, his only other good friend, let's just say. And I'm not even in Cape Town anymore where he's staying. I just realized that I'm so grateful to have a university to struggle in. I'm so grateful to stay in a place where I get to wash the dishes. I get to be fat. Of course, it's not ideal, but I have the option to indulge so far that I become fat. What a privilege it is to feel like you're just not doing enough. Because there's people out there that are doing everything they can, and they're kilometers below me in terms of what they have. I'm so privileged that I have a mom that I have to go back to every weekend. That I have to see my dad. That sometimes I just have to go out with friends when I don't feel like it. That I have to make my bed when I don't feel like it. When I got home to Stellenbosch now, I had probably the longest shower I've had in a long time. I have not scrubbed myself clean in so long because I had the option to use the shower, the soap, the cream, you know, the razor. I have everything here. And cool, after using them, I have to clean up. I have to clean up the shower. I have to clean up the sink. I have to make dinner. I have a dinner to make. There comes a point where you just realize that every single chore, every single thing you don't feel like doing is a blessing in disguise. Because everything before that you were privileged enough to have. To clean the dishes, you needed food to dirty the dishes. To make a bed, you need a bed, and you need to sleep in that bed. To clean a shower, you had to have used the shower, effectively. Let's just say, you know, for me to be able to struggle in a degree because all I'm doing is not putting in enough work is is insane to me when you think about it. And what also like spurred me to think about this is that for some reason, as I got back home, right, I was having these thoughts and damn, I'm really privileged. And then I saw one reel on Instagram. You know the motivation reels, but this one was different. It wasn't like the David Goggins. It was yeah, it was just something about it, man, where it made you realize that everything you have to struggle in is a blessing. Like, I am so privileged to have a ceiling of potential that is so far away from me. That I can go so far in life because of what I was given at the start. Now, there are people that are generations behind me. Imagine a homeless man. No education, no family. Let's say he starts a family. They are all homeless. They are probably 4 generations behind me right now. I'm so privileged to have a nicotine addiction, to have a gambling addiction, which I'm fighting, but still, to have the money, the enough money to get addicted to gambling, that in itself is a privilege. To be able to record this videos that I have above 300 subscribers, that I have 3 people that are constantly come and look at my videos, they come and watch them. That is privilege. Cool, I may have worked for that, but in reality, no, I didn't. My first video got 1.3 thousand views. That spurred my channel up to, I think, like 90 subscribers. Where would I be? Would I even be making these videos if that didn't happen? Like, thank God I get to sit in a dark room with a robe on and later probably play games with said friend because there's no one else to play with him. I don't really feel like playing it right now, which is a first. I I want to actually just lock in now and just work, really. I don't like if I start playing now by myself, I'd be filled with way too much guilt and anxiety, and I want to avoid that. I think instead of saying to myself that I I need to stop slacking off and I need to stop not doing the things I need to do, I think I just need to tell myself you have to do this and this is the only way. I can't think in negatives, you know? You can't tell yourself not to do something. You have to tell yourself to do the other thing. It's the same thing with children, right? You know, when you're teaching children to do something, you don't go and tell them don't eat on the couch, because then invariably they'll go eat on the couch. What you do is you go and say you only eat at the table. And when they're eating on the couch, don't tell them you can't eat on the couch. You tell them you can only eat at the table. There's a link. You know when skiers when they ski down a mountain, don't ever say don't hit the trees. You gotta say follow the path. Because if you say don't hit a tree, all they're gonna be looking around at is trees. The path will be obscured by the things they're trying to avoid. You know? Now, 2 years ago, I think, when I started this channel, I had the same revelation. But this time, I have to keep at it. I think the reason it happened again is because coming to university was just such a shock to the system. Everything changed. I had no routine. So I took advantage of every single privilege I had to be able to just play games for 12 hours a day, to be able to fail my classes, to be able to wake up at 2 p.m., to be able to just like not shower some nights, to not go to gym. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. So, yeah,